All right, I'm going to call to order the January 20th, 2026 Tree Board meeting. Corey, would you do a roll call for us?
Yep. Pearson. Present. Chocolatto. Kittle.
Here.
Rightgraf.
Here.
Bender.
Here.
Sorella. Cantola.
Here.
I have a quorum. Go ahead.
We have a quorum, all right. Okay, let's do a Pledge of Allegiance. Mike, kick us off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, did everyone have a chance to review the minutes from last time? I'm going to take the silence as a yes. Any changes to the minutes from last time, or can I get a motion to approve them as written?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
I get a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved as presented.
Missed the agenda there, Chair.
What's up?
Missed the agenda.
I missed the agenda. How about the agenda? Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of moving forward with this agenda as written?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? We will run with this agenda out of order. Okay, and then Corey, would you like to do an introduction for us?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Just with a former departing member of the tree board, we had an opening, and we had 4 initial candidates from the community that were interested. Ultimately did interviews with 2. And Ms. Rightgraf here has been selected by council and appointed to as your newest collaborative tree board member.
Looking forward to it. Excited.
Thank you for joining us. We're super stoked to have you. All right. Item 7 on here is open forum. We do have a member of the public here. Were you here to just observe, or did you have something for us? Cool. Thank you for coming. Do any of the tree board members have anything for the open forum? All right. We can move on to our tree board review. So we'll start with old business and look at the 2026 work plan as presented.
Chair, I can start with some information on that.
Please
So
do.
Thank you. At our previous meeting, which obviously seemed like some time ago, we talked through this initial tree board 26 work plan. Since then, and after a final audit, we'll say, of all the programs and reporting with our council, city council, it was asked that the tree board look at another alternative option in replacement of the Scott Carver Buckthorn event, primarily just because of low participation throughout the community, and then some concerns with the physical capabilities of different people to do that event. So we will be looking to strike that from this proposed work plan and seeking some engagement from the board this evening on alternative options. While just because of the timing of that, don't expect the board to finalize what that will be yet. So city staff will be looking for some suggestions, some alternatives, choices that the board could then collaborate on outside of this meeting and come back to the March meeting with an intended program that we would like to move forward with, that the board would like to move forward with. We'll finalize the work plan then and then take it to council after that. So a little bit non-traditional, but I think appropriate in this area.
Okay, thank you. So you guys are looking now for some recommendations from us of what we might work on instead of, in lieu of the Scott Carver buckthorn removal event.
Correct. As the board, the tree board, we do look for, and as part of the responsibilities of our various boards and commissions is to identify areas of community engagement and help support staff and provide direction. They're not intended to be a staff organized and run only event. It is intended that the members of the various boards and commissions also participate in that. But you're here for, because all of you have a resource of knowledge in different areas, and we want to share that with the community. So while we would be looking for suggestions, we want to ensure that those suggestions are areas that this board would be interested in helping to promote and participate in moving forward.
For sure. Are you looking for those tonight, or is that something you'd like us to come back to you with in March?
I think that if we can brainstorm some ideas, so at least maybe the other members of the board can think about, strategize how they might be able to support those different alternative options. We can certainly send out some supplemental follow-up that identifies what those are, so you don't have to take notes tonight.
Okay.
But then think about that, so then at the March meeting, we are prepared to decide we'll probably have continued engagement and decide this is the event we decided to pick on.
Okay. Well, I would then open the floor to any of the tree board members if there were any input you would like to give at this point about options of what we could do this fall in replacement for the Scott Carver Buckthorn event.
Well, I kind of liked a little bit what Tim said about the Discovery Center.
Say more about that, Mike.
I think it's a beautiful building that looks like a bunch of weeds growing around it. I think it would really be nice to clean that up and make it look like a nice place to be as opposed to a nice building.
Sure.
You know, and I think that's something that, you know, I think we could get public interest in it too, because there's an awful lot of people that go to that Discovery Center, so I think that would be a good possibility.
Wonderful. Thank
You
you,
would
Mike.
need somebody that really knows what they're doing to oversee it, but
For sure. Anybody else have any input for events that they might like to see this fall?
Going off of that idea, is there an opportunity to partner with another group who already does something at the Discovery Center? Like if there's Boy Scout troops, or if we're doing like a citywide 5K that's in the Discovery Center, to kind of pair those pieces together. That way people aren't having to commit to multiple things on different weekends.
You could definitely look at, come back at the next meeting with some various potential groups that might be utilizing that space that could potentially be interested in partnering in. We won't confirm with them on that is, but we can bring some feedback back for that.
One thing that I think would be really fun to do and would hopefully drive some community engagement would be to work with the members of the community to teach them how to do proper tree pruning. I think that would be fantastic. That's a good fall time thing to do as trees are starting to get ready for dormancy. Just whether it's like a full-on tree pruning class or just getting some people involved and having them drag brush while people who know what they're doing do the pruning. Might be a good use of resources as well.
One thing I also thought of is doing some kind of a video allied with our tree giveaway, because 50 years ago when I planted a tree, I didn't really know how to do it properly, and now I've got a very root-bound tree that's in the process of dying. So it's a process. It's something you need to learn, and quite often office workers like me don't learn it.
For sure. Yeah, thank you, Dallas. We had also, at one point, talked about doing maybe some more educational events, whether it's a full-on like Saturday morning tree trek kind of educational thing, where we just invite members of the public to come hang out with people who know things about trees and walk through the woods. Might be a good way to spend a Saturday morning in October.
Sounds good. Yeah, we've got 4 good ones there so far. Clean up do some cleanup stuff around the Discovery Center, more probably plant-based, things like that. We've got a proper way to prune a tree options, some educational materials on, or options on proper tree planting, and then a tree trek event. Certainly we've got 4 very reasonable things. Welcome to have more, just summary on that.
Well, that feels like a good place to start. And then I'd say, think about it for the next couple of months, and we come back together in March, we'll come up with a plan.
Can I throw one other idea out?
Absolutely.
Another thought would be getting a table at the farmer's market or something like that, whether it's even once a month, and having someone staff it with resources and be there to talk to people about trees. That way we're, again, meeting the community where they're at and where they're already going to be versus trying to get them to join another thing and put something else on their calendar.
Yeah, thank you.
I wonder if we could pair the tree trek or some sort of educational thing with things people like to do in the fall. I don't know if we have a budget for these activities, but if we said, like, come get an apple cider and walk with us through the tree, you know, they like to go out to apple orchards and pumpkin patches and do that kind of thing. So if we even had a small budget where we could provide drinks or something, that
Yeah.
might help
Yep, we have
attract
yep,
people.
we have a budget for the tree board for activities and stuff like that.
Okay,
Sure.
that might help.
Yeah. Okay, well, so we won't be finalizing the work plan today, but that feels like a good place to leave it off for now and then reconvene.
So just for a reminder for the board, we will be, encourage you to please think about this plan, those different things that we discussed. Again, we'll have our amazing administrative assistant help or send those out there for you guys once the minutes are finalized so that you'll know what those are, and just remember to come to the March meeting with what your capabilities would be, I guess, to also include engagement on that as well.
Sure, thank you, Corey. Well, then the next up on our agenda is the election of a board chair and vice chair for the year. Corey, would you help lead us through that?
I certainly can. You want to share where you're at with things?
Yeah, so I am getting ready to move, and where is sort of up in the air right now. So whether I will be available to be a tree board member much after the March meeting, I will almost certainly be here for the March meeting. Whether or not I will still be a resident of Oakdale past that point is uncertain. So I feel that it would probably be I don't feel it would be a good idea to nominate me for chair again because I will likely have to step down here before too awful long. And so I think that it would be better to have someone else fill the leadership position, at least for this year. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, thank you for that. And so certainly that doesn't preclude you from, or you would continue to participate in the board, just in a different capacity. So with that being said, Chair and I had a discussion about it before the meeting, just see how this process would go. So with that, we would be looking for a nomination of both a chair and a vice chair, seeing as our, a previous outgoing member was sat as the vice chair for the board. So opening the table up to nominations for chair and vice chair.
Question. Do the members nominated have to be present tonight?
They would usually accept it. Okay. We would need them to ensure that they would accept it.
Okay.
And they would participate after.
So we can't foist it on someone not here.
Typically, you would want their acceptance of.
You wouldn't want to use that particular wording, I don't think so.
I said what I said. Okay. Well, I would make a motion to nominate Mike Bender for the position of chairperson.
I'll second that.
Any others?
Any other nominations? Well, seeing no extra nominations, I would make a motion. Well, so we still need a motion for vice chair.
We should confirm that there's an acceptance of the
Commissioner
nomination.
Bender, or Board Member Bender, are you willing to take that role on?
Well, I came here thinking it was going to be vice chair, but
That's one better.
I'll accept.
So if you want to, you can adopt that position now, vote on that position, or if you want to collect nominations for the vice chair at this point. It's up to you.
Yeah, let's, could I get a nomination for vice chair? I will make a motion to nominate Laura Kittle as vice chair.
I'll second that then.
Okay, sure.
Yeah? Well, we've got any, are there any other nominations? Well, hearing none, I would make a motion to close the nominations for chair and vice chair of the tree board.
So moved.
So because we only have two, we do not have to go through the voting process.
All right.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty cut and dry.
Yep, at this point, but technically effective at this point, we would transfer on to our new chair to chair the remainder of the meeting.
Mike, I think you gotta come sit over here now.
It's not fun.
You want me to move down so you can help him?
Sure. You got that gavel now. It's very exciting.
Welcome, Laura, as vice chair.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Mike and Laura.
Thank you.
I'm excited. So we just
So-
wrapped up there. We're on to 9.
The next thing on our agenda is staff liaison updates.
Sure, I can start. I'm going to leave the majority of this conversation to our resident expert tree guy, our arborist, or our forester, Tim Melhorn. But just wanted to, provide some reminders to the board members that when, whether you see it's myself or admin, Katie sends out a request for attendance to the board meetings, it's important for us to get that feedback back so that we can ensure that we have a minimum staff and quorum. So just a reminder to, if when you do see those, I know they can sometimes get down in our inboxes, but a quick just response to her, myself, that you will be attending would greatly help on the administrative side of things for preparing, whether it's documents and paperwork, and then be able to get the agenda out with enough notice that we meet our deadlines to get you guys an advanced opportunity to see it. So from our side, that would just a little administrative cleanup there of just a friendly reminder to, please go. Yeah, obviously, not everybody has to attend every single meeting. It is an expectation of the board to be at the majority of those, and that's an important aspect, request of the council as well. As sitting members that we want to continue. We want to be able to have that engagement. Luckily for this board, we don't really have that with the limited numbers of meetings throughout the year, but just wanted to clarify that and ask for some support in that moving forward. And then from there, I'll let our Forester Melhorn go ahead and give some updates on some various things going on in the Forestry Department.
Thank you, Corey. Staff updates for us, we've been continuing doing ash removals, both our forestry staff for the city of Oakdale and contractors. Contractors removed 15 ash trees on boulevards just west of Eagle Point Elementary School, on a few different blocks that were over in there. It went very well. And then we are slowly picking away at boulevard and park trees as well. We have a little over 200 remaining in the city. We're we constantly are getting in, small clearance pruning for the plow trucks and the trail routes for the snow removal, branches that start hanging or split during storms and then are rubbing against our equipment. So we were doing that along with, I don't know if I updated exactly when we finished and updated you guys, but the forestry staff, along with collaborating with parks and so streets were involved as well. We finished up the Discovery Center landscape on the front side of the building. We redid all of that, tore out the old native grasses that were on both sides of the main entrance to the building. We did repurpose that and brought it out to the prairie in the nature preserve, so none of it was wasted. And we redid the front with mainly natives, some not, but yeah, it's cone flowers and yeah, just a really nice landscape design, as you kind of mentioned earlier, Mike, about how it is such a nice looking building to clean up that front side and make the entrance very appeasable to the public coming in and show its value to the city as that building is used as much as it is and as popular as it is. It should have a nice front entrance there. We finished that up. That was probably the end of October, last week in November, maybe it lingered into. And then we are currently working on winter jobs that require frozen ground or that are along a wetland, ponds, ice, that require ice. If we're gonna be felling a tree onto the ice, it's a lot more manageable to remove that tree off the ice than it is out of the water. And also leaving a minimal footprint on properties when we have to access landlocked wetlands that we're going on. We don't tear up the grass and stuff when we have a snow blanket and frost and whatnot. The last update I have here is the city of Oakdale. We were awarded the community tree planting grant. We were approved for $174,543. This is going to be accounting for 114 of our remaining ash trees, which is very nice, a little over half of them. The project, the completion date must be by June 30th, 2027. So in the next upcoming month or two, I'll be working with Corey a lot probably to get this grant underway and started. That one thing to mention too with that is it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So for every removal, it will receive a replacement tree, which is nice. 109 of those are based on socioeconomic indicators, and 5 are based on elevated land surface temperature. And that's all I have for updates.
I've got a question. What's this?
Yes, that's the map. Is it okay if I go back to that right now and kind of give an update on that? So you have a 2-page map there. That is of the Nature Preserve Prairie. That is just to the west of the Discovery Center building as you walk down the path, maybe 150 feet. That is an aerial photo of it. In pink highlighted there is a small, a grid, if you will, that I kind of plotted out. So my idea for the spring planting, this upcoming spring here, is to begin the restoration process of that prairie. It is struggling mightily with small woody plants, continuing to creep in along all 360 degrees of its border. And it has the potential to be a really nice prairie. It's a really nice spot. It does have that one lone oak tree that's down on the, southeast end of it. So along with this map, and then on the second page there, I just kind of put in there just some grid planning through the DNR, what they kind of have laid out to do, some different designs. But my plan for that would be to do the spring planting. We would scratch the surface on that area, or even we could expand into different areas as well, but something along these lines to replant plugs, native plugs in those areas in the hopes that they naturally propagate then throughout the next 3 to 5 years with the proper maintenance. It would be a very big job to just completely start fresh on it. So I think it's a good idea in our best interest to give the natural propagating a chance, and by doing it right and at the right time of year. And I think this would help out tremendously. And I do think it will take off. That is the layout I had there. That's on the north end of the prairie. Some plants I kind of highlighted that I would like to, and I have availability through a nursery for some plugs are, excuse me, the cardinal flower, some Indian grass, blue wild indigo, black-eyed Susans, little blue stems, prairie blazing star, and a wide variety of cone flowers. So that is kind of what I am seeking feedback on for the spring planting. Nick.
I love that. Have you considered supplementing the plugs with seeds in the fall?
Yes.
Making sure.
Yes, so I collected, harvested a lot of seeds, 2 1-gallon bags of them, prairie blazing star, cone flowers, a wide variety of them, and I am going to be all off of Oakdale property as well. In the next month here, I'm going to start the winter stratification process. So hopefully this next spring or fall, those will be ready and I can do them correctly. That is also something maybe, does anyone have any advice on, there are many techniques to stratify seeds. Seeking any advice on if anyone has experience with it or knows of a process that has a high success rate.
Do you know Prairie Moon Nursery?
Yes.
I would reach out to those guys.
Thank you.
That wasn't super helpful, but
Yeah.
they're really good.
Yeah.
So it's prairie restoration.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect spot for the spring planting. I love doing the natives. I think that it's gonna be excellent. Lots of space there to get a lot of people involved. Should we have the numbers show up to help plant plugs?
Yes, and we have the facility right there as well for lunch, and I think it'd be great.
Okay. Any other questions for Tim? Thank you, Tim. We'll move on to board member updates. Dallas, anything?
Nope.
Nick?
Well, we had talked at one point about maybe doing some emerging pest updates. Would this be an appropriate time to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing I think that should be brought to the attention of the residents of Oakdale is an invasive pest that showed up in Coon Rapids actually last summer, along with a couple of other cities in Minnesota, but for our purposes in the metro, it was just Coon Rapids. And that is spongy moth, which is an invasive lepidopteran. It's a moth, feeds preferably on oaks. That is one that it really likes feeding on. So something to be aware of. They lay egg masses that you can tell that they're there because they've laid egg mass on the tree, plus they defoliate oak trees really heavily. They just come in and feed. The adults and the caterpillars both feed on oak trees. So if you have an oak tree, something to keep an eye on. One more thing for our oaks to deal with, along with several years of drought and two-line chestnut borer and all of those things that came along with the drought. And the other thing that I've been seeing a lot of lately is an elm pest that is new. It is called zigzag sawfly of elm. And it chews zigzag patterns through the leaf tissue of elm trees. And we saw that metro-wide last year. I know in neighboring communities for sure. I saw it come in on nursery stock from out of state that we brought in. So that one is really, really widespread. If you have an elm tree, particularly a lot of people are planting new Dutch elm disease resistant cultivars of elm, like young, like Valley Forge, Princeton, Liberty elms, St. Croix elms. Zigzag sawfly really likes to feed on those. So if you have an elm tree, something to keep an eye out for. That's what I have for you, Mike.
What do you do if you find one of those?
Well, if you find spongy moth, you alert the Minnesota Department of Agriculture because they are addressing it themselves. Private tree companies are not supposed to deal with that. So if you find it on your tree, on your property, if you see what you suspect is spongy moth, contact the MDA or contact an arborist or your city forester, and they can contact the MDA for you. If you see zigzag patterns on your leaves, that is something that you probably should contact a professional tree resource about. That can be dealt with chemical intervention if you would like. It is, feeding on the leaf tissue is not ideal, but it's probably mostly cosmetic, except in the most aggressive defoliation cases. But it can be, they both can be dealt with. Spongy moth has to be dealt with by the MDA. Currently, elm zigzag sawfly can be dealt with by anybody who wants to.
You have a method that you want to use to notify the people, or
Say more about that question, Mike.
is this something that you wouldn't mind writing an article about, or have, if there's something that's already printed, somehow get it? And to me, the best way to put it in is the Oakdale update,
Sure, I can get some information to city staff.
if that's acceptable to the.
Yep. Yeah, actually, I wrote a note down about how we can get this information to a city website, work collaboratively with you after the meeting.
I'll get some
to,
info.
Get some pictures and, what they actually look like, and we can certainly, great opportunity and good information that the tree board's providing the community.
Those are my updates.
Okay. Laura, do you have anything? Michelle?
I do
I
not.
don't even know it's first. Well, I've got three things. Last meeting, we were talking about, I was talking about seeing about getting some samples of root stimulator to give away when we gave away the trees. Well, I've kind of fallen on my face with that. I haven't gotten anywhere with it. The other one was Commissioner Moore. I made a comment to you about seeing if the city council would see about getting more trees to give away. I want to step back from that position, and I want to just say, I think 200's enough, and I don't think we should do any more. And I have rationale for that, and the last thing is, if you saw in your papers, there's a little article. I took the liberty of writing an article that I thought, if this board agrees, could go in the Oakdale update when we talk about what trees we're gonna have to give away this on Arbor Day, so. And I signed it your tree board, so I need approval from this board, or something to change. And actually, I did find out one more thing with my problems I've been having is there's, trees also help with light pollution. I had to move down from my upstairs to my downstairs, and I have a street light that's a block away that comes right in my kitchen window, and so if you find a street light that's been painted half black, you know who to find.
Well, let's not encourage that.
We don't admit to those things on air, Mike.
Well, so, but yeah, it lights up my pantry, and normally my Zestar apple, when it's in leaf, blocks that out, so.
So Chair, if I may, this document here's, just some information related to how trees can, various different uses of a tree in a yard besides just looks, right? That's what you're looking to hear, and so you want to provide some education to the community, or your goal would be to ask the board to permit this as a form of community education? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it certainly, if the board is interested in providing information or moving forward with information like that, the city staff will review the language, and we can now work collaboratively to, finalize what that'll look like and give you a chance to review that. But anytime that we can provide resources to the community on the benefit of trees and what they do for not only the environment, but in aesthetic ways too that we might not think of, we're happy to promote that, whether be that in the Oakdale update or through, again, our website or different other social media platforms.
One thing I'd suggest adding to it is a comment about diversity. Example was my next door neighbor had 4 lovely ash trees, emerald ash borer, now they've got none. So diversity makes your yard and its appearance more resilient to different pests, and especially the ones that have just been discussed.
I might also add that, kind of going along with the shade, that an increase in trees also impacts human health and well-being, and increases good outcomes for people as well. So it's very important that our community continues to support tree planting and tree health.
Okay. So looking for support from the board.
Yeah, I think this is great, Mike. I put my name on that for sure.
Anybody else?
If you need a second for making it public, I would.
It's not an actual item, but just want to make sure there's agreement through discussion that this is valuable information to provide to the community.
Comfortable with Mike speaking for me and put my name on it, so great job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the other things I wanted to do with this was make people aware that we do have a tree board. I think I've said that I've lived in this community for 40 years, and it wasn't up until about 12, 15 years ago when a coworker of mine told me about that I should be on the Oakdale tree board, and I'm going up, what? So,
Just another example of an engagement opportunity for this board to get people involved.
I
yeah,
don't know how Jane missed you, to be quite frank. That's surprising to me.
but, so,
Okay.
okay. If there is nothing else, I would entertain a motion.
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. For the record, Councilmember Moore, I am your council liaison. And first of all, new year, new you guys. How exciting. Nick, you've done such a great job. And thank you for the time that you've spent as chair of the tree board. We are excited for you guys. You guys have a new work plan that you're working on, and I am really excited to see how you guys fill a year with new and innovative ways to engage our community and to educate our community. So your council is here and excited to work with you in that. on the council, we have been very busy, as we always are, because you only meet quarterly. We've done so much since the last time that we saw you. We have held a truth and taxation meeting, and we have passed a budget, and we have started a new year that included appointing your new board member. I'm happy to answer any questions if you guys have them, but I just want you to know that we appreciate your guys' time and your education and your enthusiasm and effort so very much. So thank you for everything that you pour into the tree board. I'll stand for any questions. Have a great night.
Thank you. So I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Is there-
Seconded.
Second? All in favor, say aye.
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 We're adjourned.